Okay, good afternoon. Happy Friday. How is everybody doing? Sorry, I'm like 5 minutes late, if not six. Today is Friday. Welcome to our Wellness Friday. So, if you're finding me for the first time, my name is Penny. I come here once a week on Fridays. No, I come 6 days a week, but on Fridays, I come here to talk about our health and your wellness. So please do me a favor, go ahead and share this video in your forums that allow, don't share in forums that don't allow people to do videos, because you don't want to risk your membership in your group. But you can share it on your page. I'll truly appreciate, and invite your friends so we can talk about our health. I've done that. So good afternoon. Happy Friday. My goal is to come here, inspire one person. I'm always just targeting one person to inspire, one person to educate, and one person to encourage, to unite others. So today we want to talk about stress and how we can manage stress. Stress is what causes a lot of diseases that we have. We are just too worried. We don't even make time to eat. We don't have time to rest. Sometimes you have a headache for weeks. We are just too busy trying to make ends meet. In the process, we become very stressed. Let me move this camera a little. Yeah, there. Oh, there. That's better. So I am using this book. It's a book that the company that I worked before gave us in 2004. It talks about living a healthy life with chronic conditions. So this book here talks about self-management of heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, and other diseases. So today we want to talk about stress. Stress is what really leads us or pushes us to these chronic illnesses. Stress is very important subject in mental health. Watching from yes, stress is what really causes us to be to really die, because we never pay attention to stress, and before you know it, we are sick. So in this book, they show you the disease, when how a disease, the cycle, how you get sick. So when you have a disease, your muscles start getting tense, you start getting pain, you have ankle pains, you have a headache, you have back pain. And then when you're in pain, you start getting stressed and anxious because you're not feeling well. When you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well. So you can't even think right. Then what happens, the next stage is you are having a problem to manage your emotions. A lot of us cannot manage our emotions. Like, you have a relationship or you have children, but every time you're angry, you cannot just communicate properly. You are always angry. So when you're always when you're always angry, that means you end up having broken relationships. When you have broken relationships, now you have all these things going on, and there's nobody who's going to support you because you broke all your relationships. Somebody is just saying, "You're looking edible, Abraham Bane, come add." Abu, come. Their in-laws want more cows. Yeah. So when you lose your good relationships that you've created over the years because your body is not feeling well, mentally you're not okay, what happens when everybody cuts you off? You slip into depression. I don't know about you, but personally, I have cut a few people off because they were adding stress to my life, because they were giving me anxiety, because they were just draining me. So if you're one of those people who's been cut off, sometimes you didn't see it coming. If you're intentional, you're going to cut some people off. And sometimes it could be your kids, sometimes it's your spouse, sometimes it could be your co-workers. There's a book I read that is called Necessary Endings. It's a very good book, and I would recommend, I have it on the other side, I would recommend people to read that book. Necessary endings is when you cut things off your life that are causing stress. And sometimes it could be food. You have to put some things to an end for you to succeed. So Once you slip into depression, the next thing is fatigue. You're always tired because now you know, you used to talk to Penny, you call Penny, she doesn't pick the phone. You used to talk to somebody at work. When you're trying to talk to them, they don't want to talk to you, so they are always avoiding you. Damaris is saying she's watching from Nairobi. Counselor, to I am studying mental health counseling and the day, looking forward to be like you. Damaris, welcome. I went into mental health like a long time ago. My job forced me to, because I was working with people with developmental disabilities. I started, I believe it was 1997, and I've been in that population. But what I did, I tapped into the training that my company used to give me. And in the process of learning how I was going to work with the clients, I applied those things in my home. Because as you can see, when they sent us to those trainings, they gave us these books. These books were paid for. So it's for me to come here and start studying. So in here, once you are always fatigued, that means you're not able to wake up to be productive. You're not able to go to work. You're just anxious, and some of you either end up slipping into alcohol. Some of you end up slipping into like some kind of addiction, prescription pills, where you're just taking medication to sleep. And that is caused by stress. You find yourself, it's a circle that goes round. So they're asking here, we are going to ask ourselves, what causes chronic illnesses? This question, we all need to understand how the body operates, and you know how your cells are built to block tissues and organs. Okay, the heart, the lungs, the brain, the blood vessels, the bone muscles. Okay, every part of your body, you need to understand how every part of your body is functioning, because every part has its reason, its function. Everything, they work together. Like my hand will get the food, I put it in my mouth, my teeth will chew, the tongue is to help swallow and then to process. And every part of your body has its own function until you remove urine, until you remove the wastes, the brain. Every part of your body has its functions. We need to be reminded of that. So if you interfere with any of your body parts, you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. Okay, so your body has to be nourished. If your body is not getting enough oxygen, if your body is not removing the waste, waste the way it's supposed to do, if your body is not breathing the way it's supposed to breathe, some of the parts of your body are going to suffer. They're going to be suffocated with toxins. Okay, so once you get these diseases, what happens, you have to try and find a way to fix it. In the process, you end up getting high blood pressure, you end up getting a stroke, you'll end up having like cholesterol, whatever, build up in your heart. A lot of things are going to go wrong. Okay, so what happens in the process of you not taking care of your body, you find yourself in the hospital. But you know what? You just don't find yourself in the hospital. It's because it is a process that has taken long until now it is there. Okay? So they have a graph here. The difference between an acute and a chronic disease. Okay? So an acute disease, the beginning is when it's acute, it's rapid. A chronic disease, it's long term. It takes a long time. An acute disease, the cause is usually one. The chronic illness, the causes are many. That's including stress, or that's including, hereditary. Some of the chronic illnesses we have are passed on from our parents. The duration, an acute disease lasts for a short time, but a chronic illness is indefinite. Okay, the diagnosis is commonly accurate when it's an acute disease. Okay, but a chronic illness often takes a while for it to be even caught. Sometimes you can be suffering from something. Eventually, by the time you find it, it's too late. Okay? And then they say that the treatment, the acute diseases, the treatments are like easy. It's easy to treat a cold. Okay? But some of the diseases, once you get them, like diabetes, even high blood pressure, I think you can change a lifestyle. Or if you have, let's say, You have, let me see which disease that you have a compromised HIV and AIDS, you have a compromised immune system. The cure sometimes is not there, because what you can do is manage the disease, okay? So as a professional, the role of a professional when you have an acute illness is to give you the diagnosis, and then after they give you the diagnosis, remember there's a cure for these acute diseases. But when you have a chronic illness, you're going to need somebody who's going to be a life coach, a partner that is going to help you through these diseases, okay? The role of a patient is to follow directions. Once you've been given a diagnosis, the doctor is going to tell you need to do A, B, C, D, okay? If it's an acute, you just follow orders. But if it is a chronic illness, okay, you have to partner with a health professional to help you through the process so you can manage your day-to-day living. And that's where life coaches come in. That's where the nurses, the doctors, the CNAs, they come in to help you to manage these diseases day to day. So in the next chapter, they talk about how you can become a manager of yourself. If you manage yourself, okay, it's going to be easy. You have to manage, nobody can manage whatever disease that you have. You have to be the one to decide that, what, moving forward, this is what I'm going to do, okay? How you can manage yourself, manage the work or manage the disease. Once you've known what kind of disease you have to find out how you're going to deal with these diseases. You have to figure out how you're going to do your daily activities. You have to learn how you're going to manage your emotions. If you've been following me long enough, sometimes I try to talk about something and then I lose myself. And then I even start sweating. I start removing my jacket. I don't know how many of you have seen me, like the last video I did talking about children who are not being disciplined by the parents. I speak until I'm sweating. You can imagine I'm pushing all my body organs, my brain, everything is working. Before you know it, I start sweating. I have to remove the clothes. So you have to manage your emotions, because if you don't, the emotions will manage you. So when we talk about self-management, what we are talking about is once you've known what disease is this, okay? Become an active manager. When they're talking about being an active manager, is what you've decided that moving forward, now I know the acute diseases, they are chronic diseases. What are you going to do so that way you stop these things from happening to you? If you have acute, you want to try and see and work hard so it doesn't become chronic, okay? Look for alternatives to accomplish your goal. What goals, health goals, are you setting for yourself? Look for ways to accomplish these two goals. Start making short-term goals. If you're already diabetic, if you already have high blood pressure, if you already have the diagnosis of the disease that you have, you need to sit down and start planning how you're going to help yourself. And it's good to make short-term goals, okay? Short-term goals meaning, moving forward, I'm going to make sure I drink my porridge. You see, I drink porridge almost every day. I'm going to start changing what I eat. I'm going to start choosing what I feed into my mind. I'm going to get more rest. I'm going to be on social media less. I'm going to cut people off who are taking my time. I'm going to focus more on myself. You have to write these goals. Start with one goal at a time and make them short term. Carry out the action plan and evaluate yourself. Usually on Mondays is the day I talk about goals. Write those things down. Take a pen and paper. Write everything down. And you know what? Check it. Okay? Make the changes as needed. Remember to reward yourself. Once you've accomplished certain things, if it's meal preparation, once you succeed in meal preparation, thank yourself. Feel good about it. Reward yourself. Say that, you know what? I aced this thing. Identify the problem. Where are you having a problem that you're not able to manage your stress? You're not able to manage your health. Ask yourself exactly where is the problem. For those of you who've been watching me, when you look at women my age, I am 49 years old. With children, I have 4 children. A lot of them, when I talk to them, they have all kinds of diseases. Some diseases are passed on, but when I talk to some of them, it's diseases that they've caused themselves to put themselves in those situations, especially when it comes to meal planning, especially when it comes to what you're putting in your mind, especially when it comes to the people you surround yourself with. Alcohol, idleness, lack of exercise, all these things are going to lead you into a difficult situation, because you're not making the right choices for yourself. Okay, write how you're going to solve these problems when you've already identified the problem. And then they're saying, if you've tried something and it's not working, what you can do is to try a different thing. Okay, when you've tried a different thing, that means now you're moving to a different kind of system. If it's meal planning, you've tried that and it's not working, decide and say, you know what, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to get a coach. Sometimes, Betty, I saw you. Good afternoon. Sometimes you think you got it and really you don't have it. That's another thing. We think we know what we are doing. All of us tend to have that mentality. Oh, you know what, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing. Ask yourself, exactly what am I going to do? How far are you willing to walk? How far are you willing to put this technique into place? Okay. Number two, how much will you do? How much time are you willing to put in whatever goals you're setting for your whatever disease you're dealing with, whatever stress you're going through? Ask yourself, how much time are you going to set aside to help you? Then the question you also want to ask yourself, which is Procrastination Thursday. On Thursday is when we talk about things that we've been putting aside. Ask yourself, when am I going to start? When do you plan to start this healthy living? Okay. Now, then they're giving you basic successful action plans. Okay. Something you want to do. Identify what you want to do. They are saying be reasonable. What is something that you want to do that is reasonable to yourself? Don't set goals that are beyond you. For instance, I think somebody here just said that she's decided to go into mental health. When she's done with whatever she's studying, she wants to do what I'm doing. She's identified what she wants to do. Number three, behavior specific. Losing weight is not a behavior. Not eating after dinner is. Okay. When you've decided that, you know what, moving forward, I'm going to watch what I'm going to eat. You understand? Some of you will decide, and then before you know it, you're eating junk. Okay? Number four, ask yourself, how many times do I need to do this? How often? When am I planning to do this? And then number five, the more you practice these things, how confident are you? A lot of us don't achieve our goals because we are not confident. We are feeling like, you know, somebody is better, or maybe I can't do it. You're insecure. The more you practice these things, the more confident you become. I'm sure there are people, if I told them today that come here and do this video, they're going to shake. But if you do one and you do two, you do three, you'll be good to go. So you have to start, okay? You have to start. At one time, you have to say, you know what, I have to solve this problem. And once you've identified what the problem is, you're going actually to stop this disease from growing. Okay? So some of us, we like imitating other people. The saddest thing about life, when God created man, there is no one man that is like the other. Even twins, when twins come or when twins are born, they are different, even if they're identical twins. Now, when you take time and start copying someone, wanting to be like someone, before you want to be like me, you have to go back to where I came from. You have to go back to my village. To be at 49 years old, to do exactly what I'm doing. You have to have the set of parents I had. You have to have the environment that I was in. You have to have the people that you surround yourself with. You have to have the same people like me for you to be me. But what we can do, instead of trying to be another person, we can learn from other people and decide this is where we want to go. Now, for me, I like to write. Every time I see something good, I just like to write. I like to take notes. Every time I see something, I write it. So that way I can keep reminding myself. Okay? When I read, I feel good. When I read, I feel good. I keep growing myself. So now, if you come here and watch me one time and you don't do anything with yourself, you're always going to remain in the same place. You're supposed to keep reminding yourself. You see, I'm opening pages. These are pages that I've written over and over, over and over. I have different things that, you know, that I have challenged myself with. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to pick one. Okay, this is a good one. Now, you see, I have this I can share with you as I finish this video. I don't want to take too much of your time. I have this book. I have written these notes and I review them every now and then. Kimto, how are you? Now, let me read them for you. So that way I summarize it for you because this is for me. But I can tell you, number one, accept that over the years before you met me or before you met your mentor, you've been making bad choices. Come into terms and say, you know what, really, I've not been taking care of myself. Number two, accept that there's nobody who's not suffering. Everybody is going through some kind of pain. If you think the way I look, the way I come out, the way you think that I'm not going through something, I'm going through something. Especially a woman that has 4 children, a woman that is married, a woman that has a mother, a woman that has siblings, a woman that runs her own business, a woman that is on somebody's payroll. I have a lot of problems. So when you look at me and you want to be me, I want you to know that I have a lot of problems and I'm finding a way to manage these problems. There is nobody who doesn't have problems. Pain is part of life. Be careful what you talk about, what you say to people. Keep a skid, they say, keep a skid on your tongues. Because if you don't watch what you say to people, people are going to cut you off and you will find yourself in depression. I'm a good listener, meaning when you talk to me, I listen to you fully. If you're my friend, you know. There are things you say to me. Once you say those things to me, literally, I am done. Be careful how you interact with people. Because if you're not careful, that is how you'll find yourself in isolation. Because nobody wants people who say anything to them. So watch what you say. The next one, be interested in others. Don't be a selfish person. Always think about other people because when you give, sometimes that's even how your health gets to improve. Be a giver. Don't be a selfish person. Don't always be the one who always wants people to help you. Help somebody in your capacity. Sometimes we are not on the same level. We can never be on the same level, but do something for somebody. Keep an open mind. Again, if you have children, you need to have an open mind. Or if you have friends, you have to have an open mind. If you're employed, you have to have an open mind. If you own your own business, you have to have an open mind. A customer can come and tell you something out of this world. You're like, what? Did they just say that? So have an open mind. Let the things you do speak for themselves. Be a person of good character. Integrity is a standard operational manual. Look at the definition of integrity. Integrity is those things you do when nobody's looking. I have friends who've been accused of doing things. And you know, I like to call them. If you're my friend and there's a scandal going on about you, I'm the kind, if I have your phone number, I usually call you, especially if the scandal is huge. I'm going to call you and expect you to call me if there's a scandal about me. So when I call some of my friends who've had scandals, whether they are male or female, I call them with that scandal because I'm concerned about their wellness. And I ask them, I've had such and such. Is this true? Because my friends are my business. I'm their business. So now, a lot of my friends will defend themselves. A few of my friends admit, yes, I did that. And the ones that refuse or tell me they did not do whatever I have been told, I always tell them, It's okay. I'm not a judge. But integrity is everything. As long as you know what is being said is something you didn't do, it's okay. You have to deal with that. Because for me, I'm calling as a friend to just check on you to, to be supportive. But if you did that, especially when it's infidelity, where your friend is being accused of going with somebody's husband or somebody's wife, I'll call you because those things happen. But if you know you did, it's something you have to live with. So integrity is a good way to discipline yourself to succeed. So let your good work speak for itself. Okay? Avoid saying negative things about other people. Sometimes we talk about people a little too often. Before you open your mouth to speak about Penny, think about Penny. I have children. Before you spread the rumors about me, try to gossip in moderation. That's what I say. Try to be reasonable, whatever you're saying, because once you finish saying something to someone, believe me, they're going to say it to somebody else. Why did I leave this chair here? This chair should not be in my video. Be careful, because we all do say something about people. Our children will say something about us. And for some reason, sometimes we even create stories and say things about people. So be careful before you say something about someone. Just know that that person is going to repeat what you said. Okay? Read the Bible, because the stories in the Bibles have not changed. Every Bible you read, the story is the same. If you read the Bible, you'll find your story there. Why I recommend you read the Bible? There are solutions to all those problems that you're going through because they happened before. So if something has happened before, they are going to tell you what happened, how the outcome, was. So read the Bible. Get a mentor. When you're going through a crisis, have that one person that you can call. Just call them. You trust their judgment. Have that person on a speed dial when you're in challenge. Okay? Set goals and review your goals once a week. Even if it means to declutter the house, even if it means to call someone, whatever goals that you have set, look at them and take responsibility of not achieving some of your goals. Okay? It always seems impossible that you'll never succeed to be where you want to be, but it takes time. Like I've told you, if you want to do what I'm doing at 49 years old, you have to go back to my village and start my journey. So for you to be where I am today, it takes time. There's nothing that is going to happen in one day. When I started my page 2 years ago, I just started with one person. One person followed me, then two. Now I'm at 87,000. That's 2 years. So it's going to take a while. Start slowly. Get organized. Okay. Now, today when I was dressing, I decided to wear this. I decided an orange dress is in order because it's fall, orange is the color. Then I decided to bring this book. Then I have this book. I have the phone. I have everything I need around here. I brought water in case I need to sip water. I have everything that I need. Get organized, because when you get organized, that's how you succeed. Schedule a time to appreciate yourself. For me, today is the day. I'm going to go get my flowers today. Schedule a time, like a particular day, a particular time where you appreciate yourself. Give yourself credit. Pat yourself. Tell yourself you've done a good job. Appreciate yourself. Don't wait for people to praise you. Praise yourself. Feel good about yourself. Okay? Thank the people that has helped you along the way. Be a person who has gratitude. Because if you're not grateful, and remember on Wednesdays is when we talk about gratitude. If there are people who helped you along the way, always learn to be grateful. My time is up. I'm supposed to be here for only 30 minutes and I'm over by 5 minutes. So, gratitude, be grateful. Because when you're grateful, people will know. When you're grateful, people will admire that. They will always be willing to help you. Just saying thank you. If you're grateful for little things, God is going to trust you and give you big things. You don't succeed by not appreciating what people have done for you. I have this. I don't know if you can see these colors. I was doing this with one of my clients for fun. So life is like this. And I figured he was supposed to make a bangle for me. He was making a bangle so I can wait to go to church. If you look at this bracelet, it has many colors. If you look at the bracelets that I'm wearing, they have many colors. If you look at my headgear, I have 2 colors. Life is like that. Life is a combination of so many things, but when they are put together, they look beautiful. Your pain, your suffering, your achievement, your children, everything that when it's put together, you see this necklace, different colors put together. It's everything put together. It's what makes us human beings. Don't try to get a perfect life. There is nobody who's going to have a life that is perfect. Everything put together is what makes us human. And in our local communities, in our local Facebook communities, it's everything put together that makes us people. So what we need to do every day, make it your point. I have to say this so many times. Make it a point to inspire one person, encourage one person who's down. If there's a skill you have that other people don't have, which that happens all the time, teach other people. Don't be selfish. If there are things you can do to bring a community together, always do that. Do things that will bring people together, because when people come together, they share their burdens. And that's the message that I want to bring here every day. I come on social media. My job as Penny, or keeping up with Penny O, is to inspire you, is to educate you, and unite you with your family and friends, including me. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. And if you've not liked and shared this video, please do that. Like my page and invite your friends. It helps me, or it brings me great pleasure to be able to reach people who don't know me. So for those of you who don't, who have not shared this, please do that. John, how are you? I see you. Dominic, I see you. How are you doing? And I tell you, when you're blessed and you bless others, God is always going to open a way for you. I want to thank all the people that have been giving me stars. I want to thank all my subscribers. I want to thank everybody who takes time, especially Kemto Laban. Kemto Laban shares every video that I do. I'm telling you, this lady is faithful, and I don't take her for granted, because if we don't have our followers sharing this video, Facebook wants us to pay these videos, and we are doing this for free. We just want to encourage other people. So share these videos, because if we are out there, we are going to save lives. We don't know whose life we are going to touch. And that's why we ask you please to like our pages and share these videos and follow us. And then the incentives Facebook gives us. The last incentive they had, they were giving a grant for $40,000. I was late to apply, but they are giving money for communities that are struggling. So the bigger the page you have, the bigger the community you have, they will see something in you and give you a grant and say, go to your community and help your people. Can you imagine if I got $40,000 today? We will pay school fees. We can even put up a project. We can do something with $40,000. That's what Facebook is doing. And I'm asking all my followers to be faithful and to be committed. And together we can do this thing. Cheers and enjoy your weekend.